If you've spent any time watching reality television over the last decade, Brandi Passante probably feels like someone you already know. Her rise on Storage Wars wasn't just about bidding wars and dusty lockers. It was about personality, timing, and an ability to connect with viewers in an authentic way. Brandi came across as sharp, confident, and refreshingly real, which made her stand out in a genre that often feels overproduced. Fans didn't just tune in to see what was inside the storage units. They tuned in to see how Brandi would react, negotiate, and occasionally deliver a perfectly timed remark. That relatability is exactly why, years later, people are still paying attention to what she does next. Recently, Brandi found herself back in the headlines, not because of a rare collectible or a winning bid, but due to a moment that caught the internet's attention unexpectedly. It's a reminder that when you've been in the public eye for a long time, even ordinary moments can take on a life of their own. How Storage Wars made Brandi a household name. Brandi Passante's journey on Storage Wars began alongside Jared Schultz, and together they quickly became one of the show's most memorable pairs. Their dynamic was a mix of strategy, competition, and humor, which made their scenes feel less like scripted television and more like a peek into a real partnership under pressure. Brandi often balanced Jared's impulsive energy with her own calculated approach, and viewers noticed. She wasn't just along for the ride. She held her ground, made smart calls, and proved she could compete with anyone in the auction scene. Over time, fans began to appreciate her not just as part of a duo, but as an individual personality with her own strengths. Even as the show evolved and personal circumstances changed, Brandi's presence remained a constant source of interest. Her ability to adapt and stay relevant is a big reason her name still resonates with reality TV audiences today. Life after a public breakup. When Brandi and Jared went their separate ways, it marked a noticeable shift for longtime viewers. Public breakups are never easy, especially when they play out in front of millions of people who feel emotionally invested. For Brandi, this period could have easily defined her career in a negative way, but instead, it became a moment of growth. She continued appearing on the show and gradually showed a different side of herself, more independent, more self-assured, and clearly comfortable standing on her own. Fans watched her navigate this transition with a level of honesty that felt genuine rather than performative. That openness helped solidify her connection with the audience even further. Rather than fading into the background, Brandi used the experience to redefine her public image, proving that she wasn't just half of a familiar duo, but a strong personality capable of carrying her own narrative forward. When a small moment becomes a big story. In today's digital world, it doesn't take much for a brief, unplanned moment to become headline news. That's exactly what happened when Brandi recently found herself at the center of online chatter. The incident itself was fleeting and seemingly unintentional, but once it hit social media, it spread quickly. Clips and screenshots circulated, and suddenly people who hadn't thought about Storage Wars in years were talking about Brandi again. What's interesting is how little context often matters once the internet decides something is worth discussing. A moment that might have passed unnoticed in another setting turned into a trending topic simply because of who she is. This kind of attention can feel overwhelming, but it also highlights the strange reality of modern fame, where even accidental moments can overshadow years of professional achievements almost overnight. Mixed reactions from fans and commentators. As expected, reactions to the viral moment were all over the map. Some fans immediately came to Brandi's defense, pointing out that everyone has off moments and that public figures deserve the same grace as anyone else. Others treated it more lightly, seeing it as an overblown situation that didn't warrant serious discussion. Of course, there were also critics who felt compelled to weigh in with judgments that said more about online culture than about Brandi herself. What stood out most? was how divided the conversation became over something relatively minor. It revealed how quickly people project their own expectations onto celebrities, often forgetting that they're human first. Through it all, Brandi remained largely unbothered, which only strengthened the support of those who admire her confidence. Her ability to let the noise fade without escalating the situation spoke volumes about her experience navigating public scrutiny. Social media and the cost of constant visibility, Brandi's experience is a clear example of how social media has changed the rules of fame. Platforms that once allowed stars to connect directly with fans now also amplify every misstep, real or perceived. For someone like Brandi, who has embraced sharing parts of her life online, that visibility comes with both rewards and risks. On one hand, it keeps her connected to a loyal fan base that appreciates her authenticity. On the other, it means there's very little separation between public and private moments. The recent buzz around her highlights how quickly narratives can form without full context. Still, Brandi has managed to strike a balance, engaging with supporters while refusing to let online speculation dictate her choices. That approach has helped her maintain a positive presence, even when attention isn't focused on her professional accomplishments. Resilience built over years in the public eye. One reason Brandi Passante continues to resonate with audiences is her resilience. Years of reality television have given her thick skin and a clear sense of self, both of which are essential in an industry fueled by opinions. Instead of reacting defensively or trying to control the narrative every time something unexpected happens, she often chooses to move forward quietly. That confidence comes from experience and from knowing that a single moment doesn't define an entire career. Fans recognize this strength and often cite it as one of her most admirable qualities. Brandi's ability to handle attention, both positive and negative, without losing her sense of humor or authenticity, is a big part of why she's lasted as long as she has. In a space where many personalities fade quickly, her staying power is no accident. Looking ahead to what's next. Despite the temporary buzz surrounding the recent incident, Brandi's future doesn't seem shaken. She continues to appear on Storage Wars, connect with fans, and live her life without making apologies for being herself. If anything, the renewed attention has reminded people why they liked her in the first place. She's not trying to reinvent herself or chase trends. She's simply continuing on a path that has worked for years. That consistency is rare in reality television, where constant reinvention is often expected. Brandi's confidence suggests she understands that longevity comes from staying grounded rather than reacting to every headline. As fans look ahead, most seem less interested in fleeting viral moments and more curious about what she'll do next, both on and off the screen. Why Brandi remains a fan favorite. At the end of the day, Brandi Passante's appeal comes down to authenticity. She has never pretended to be perfect, and that honesty has built a lasting connection with viewers. Moments of unexpected attention, whether positive or awkward, don't erase years of genuine entertainment and relatability. Instead, they add another layer to a public story that fans feel invested in. Brandi's ability to remain true to herself, even when conversations swirl around her, is what keeps people rooting for her. In a media landscape that often thrives on exaggeration, her grounded response stands out. Love her competitive spirit, her humor, or her resilience, there's no denying that Brandi has earned her place as a reality TV staple. And as long as she keeps being herself, audiences will keep watching.